Touchdown, buzzer beater, do it all now. All now, top corner talking home run. Touchdown, buzzer beater, do it all now. All now, top corner like.
What's up guys, it's me Eric B and welcome back to the channel. And in this video we are going to be doing my very first ride on my brand new Ducati Panigale V2. This is the base model. I decided not to go with the S because I don't really need it. I think this will do the job just fine. Really the biggest difference between the S and the base model is going to be obviously the suspension, the battery, and I want to say this rear cowl. So on the S you get the Öhlins suspension. On this is I think the front forks are Marzocchi is how you say it, and the rear shock is a KYB. The other difference is you will get the rear cowl on the S, but on the standard model you have to buy that as a separate option. And then the S model does come with a lithium battery, but I did install one myself on here, so if you want to do that, you know, that's an option to do. I just don't feel the cost is really worth it, you know, unless I really am using this bike for the track and stuff like that. I don't think the suspension is really worth it in my opinion. You can do other, you know, upgrades later on, get some K-Tech or get your own Öhlins or something like that. But all right, just doing a quick walk around. Man, this thing is beautiful, and a lot of people talk trash on the new V2 compared to the old one. It's like the bike wasn't even out yet and people were just bashing it. It's like, give it a chance, you know what I'm saying? Like I think it looks great. You really have to go see one in person to really I guess appreciate the looks of the bike. All right, so we do get the double-sided swing arm. A lot of people have some heartache about that, and it's quite nice. Like, it's got this big hole in the middle here, so it should be lightweight, but the purpose of this is for more rigidity and things of that nature. So obviously if you're taking this thing to the track, you're going to have more stability. Other changes are basically the entire bike because it's completely redesigned. You do get this brand new engine that they threw in it. It's no longer the Super Quattro, so this is an 890cc motor. And the motor is supposed to be lightweight. It's supposed to only weigh like somewhere in the neighborhood of 100 pounds. The other differences are you do get the M50 Brembo brake calipers, which are better than the previous Model V2 brakes. I also want to say these brake lines are still braided. You get a Brembo master cylinder and you get a Brembo clutch master cylinder as well. All right, some other differences, as you can see, just hopping on here, you can see the handlebar layout here. It's more built for street riding versus, you know, having the traditional clip-ons and everything on here. But the risers and everything are really low and wide, so it just makes it more comfortable when you're riding out in the street. Now, Ducati does have clip-ons that you can get for this, but they're really expensive. And I'm curious to see what like a brand like Woodcraft or something like that comes out with, you know, a top triple clamp with some new clip-ons. The other nice change is the display here. This thing looks awesome. I don't know how well you guys can see it right here, but when you turn it on, man, it just the color of it, just the clarity and everything, it's a really nice looking display. I want to say it's a 5-inch TFT, and it looks like they kind of took that from the previous model V4. Because the old V2 display was a lot smaller. All right, now as far as modifications go to this bike, the very first thing I did is the Terminani full exhaust. This thing is beautiful. If you guys haven't seen the video to this install on this exhaust yet, definitely go check it out. It sounds awesome. We're gonna actually see what this thing sounds like while I'm riding the bike. Hopefully it comes across the GoPro quite nicely. But yeah, man, it dropped 10 pounds, so we saved some weight there. It sounds great, and you do get a tune from Ducati that will increase the horsepower by 5 horsepower and the torque by 5 pound-feet of torque. All right, so other mods I've done the rear cowl, and then I have some other things coming in. They're just not here yet. We're gonna get rid of this ugly license plate holder. I do have a fender eliminator I need to install, and then we're gonna do windscreen. We're gonna get rid of the mirrors, and that's probably about it. I'm not going too crazy. I think the exhaust is the biggest thing, and then I eventually want to get this thing out on the track. Alright guys, and I'm also going to go stop by a truck stop that has a cat scale, and I want to weigh this bike just so you can see how much this thing actually weighs with the new exhaust and everything. So in the book, in the owner's manual, it says that this bike is 388 pounds without the fuel. So you add the fuel to it, I think it's like a little over a 3-gallon tank. Fuel, one gallon of gas, I think is like 6 pounds or something like that. I think it puts it just a hair over 400 pounds, but you take away 10 pounds from the exhaust, you take away 4 pounds from the battery that, the lithium battery that I installed. I mean, we're right under 400 pounds. This is like, I want to say, I can't remember what the number that I got. I think it was like 392 or something like that, between like 392 396. So not too shabby. But all right guys, let's go ahead and get this thing out on the road, show you what it sounds like, talk about it a little bit. But before we do that, as always, let's cut to the B-roll. All right, let's get a cold start for you guys. I love the startup on the screen. Looks so cool. All right, I come around the other side here. It's windy today. Oh my goodness, the way that this exhaust sounds brings this bike to life. Because with the stock exhaust, it sounds like a sewing machine. Got them nice daytime running lights in there. They look awesome. And then I got that plate for all the haters out there that hate on the new V2. All right. All right, as soon as we get out of the neighborhood here, we can get on it just a little bit. Now I'm still in the break-in period. I only have 9 miles on the odometer. We got to do the 600-mile break-in, so I'm not supposed to go over like 6,000 RPM. And then we'll do the first oil change and all that stuff. All right, so the new V2, man, what do you guys think about this bike? So all the things you've been seeing on YouTube so far has only been this thing on the track. Now we're starting to see some people actually get it and do some road reviews and stuff like that. I am just super excited that I finally got this bike. Like, I've been waiting for forever. I originally had a deposit on a Yamaha R9, and then when they said it was going to be delayed and it was not going to be here till like mid to end of the summer, I was like, nope, guess I'm going back to the Ducati, and I'm glad I made the decision that I made. All right. Oh, this quick shifter is nice. Wow, the quick shifter is very smooth. Okay, okay, I like it. All right, so to start off with, quick shifter is very nice. Now also on this quick shifter, usually there's like a little sensor that's on the rod itself, but on the new V2 it's a little bit different. I think everything is like inside of the actual clutch or something itself. I can't remember. I heard someone say something about that, or the sensor actually might be on the engine block itself instead of right on the rod. But man, this thing feels great. Now as far as ergonomics and everything goes, very comfortable seating position, no doubt. You're not really fully committed, but this thing is very comfortable. The seat feels fine. It's not super soft, it's not super hard. It's wide enough for you, you know. I think you could do a decent ride most of the day and not be too bad. But at the same time, you can still have fun with this and it be sporty. You know, you take it to the track and things like that. Handlebars are a nice wide position. I feel super comfortable right now. The pegs and everything, the position isn't super high up or anything. You can see where my thighs are sitting in relation to the tank, and the tank is nice and wide too. Actually, I mean, the bike feels narrow, but it's wide enough to, like, you know, it feels good if you're actually going to start hitting the twisties and stuff like that and you want to hug the tank. It feels good as well. Now flicking this thing around, feels pretty light. The suspension feels pretty nice. Like I said, this is my very first time actually riding this bike on the road. We got to look at the suspension setup, because in the manual it actually gives you certain settings for the forks and everything, and the rear shock for normal, sport, and taking it to the track. But so far it feels pretty comfortable. It's not super soft, but it doesn't feel really hard either. Alright, now these mirrors, usually Ducati mirrors suck. These aren't too bad. They're pretty stable, but they do vibrate just a little bit. And I don't know if you can see it on the camera. They are vibrating, so I don't know if they made it any better or not. But I still don't plan to keep these mirrors on here. Just because I like the front end to look a little bit more sleek. Alright, when it comes to looks, I will agree the older model is a little bit more elegant, if you will. Looks a little bit better. But I think the new one looks really good too. It's just going to take time to grow on people. And you have to come and see the bike in person. I don't think the photos do this bike any justice at all. Alright, now when we talk about the power of this bike, it is 120 horsepower and it is about 69 pound-feet of torque. Now with that said, when you add the tune onto this bike, you're pushing it up to about 125 horsepower and then at like 74 pound-feet of torque. It's literally right there with the previous V2 as far as the torque goes, because I think the previous one has like 75 pound-feet of torque. So, and this bike is lighter. With all the rain we recently had, everything, it was like flooding recently, and like everything looks like a lake. Is this supposed to be like cornfields and stuff like that? So far so good. Bike feels really nice. But yeah, like I was saying, back on the horsepower and everything like that, a lot of people were complaining about the power because there's a loss. So this only has 120 versus the old one has 155. Who cares? Who cares? Like, horsepower isn't everything, man. If you want a bike that's got a lot of power, go ahead and get yourself a leader bike and you do you. But I think it's all about fun factor and stuff like that. And I really don't care about going fast in a straight line. I like hitting twisties. So it is what it is. Alright, so I have right now the bike in road mode. So there's three different modes. There's road, sport, and then race. And in between those modes, you can change like the traction control, wheelie control, ABS, and engine braking. And I may be missing one. Yeah, but yeah, you have traction control, wheelie control, ABS, engine braking, and I think that's it. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm gonna have to go in here and look. It just sucks, I really can't get on it to really show you guys until I break it in. But the bike feels really smooth. Usually Ducatis are kind of rough, they have a lot of character, and this one still does. It's just a lot more refined. Man, this auto blip is nice too, really smooth. On my RS660 it was kind of notchy. Yeah, I really wish I could go take this thing in some twisties, see how it really feels, but it is what it is. I'm still having some fun. But yeah, man, all these people crying about certain stuff. Oh, it's down on horsepower. Oh, it has a double-sided swing arm now. Oh, it looks ugly. Like, where's that scale at? I think it was over here. I think it was over here. If not, we'll go the other way. Because there's like 3 different truck stops over here. Yeah, there's a scale right over there. Hopefully it works.
Give me 1 moment.
All right.
Your bike isn't heavy enough. My scale isn't registering it.
Awesome. Okay, I appreciate it. All right. All right, well, I guess we're not gonna find out what the weight is. We tried. So now I know that the bike is not even heavy enough to register on the scale. All right, so real quick, I just want to show you guys the dash while I'm off the bike and everything. It's just a little easier to do. And then the control layout and everything on this bike looks really good. Let me sit back on here. I do like that. But the only nitpicking thing that I have, you know, really just on me is the buttons. They feel kind of cheap when you push them and everything. I wish I had a more like tactile feel. They were like more secure on here. They feel kind of cheap and loose, but that's just me nitpicking. Not a huge deal. You see your kill switch right here covering the start button. You do have a you can get grip warmers on here. Now it comes as an additional option that you can get, and it does have the button for it right here. You do get cruise control on this bike, which is awesome. Again, another feature that you have to you know, pay for in order to get added onto the bike. So with the R9 you do get, you know, launch control, cruise control, all that stuff added for a cheaper price. With this, you know, the launch control, the cruise control, all that stuff you have to pay extra for. Now the blinkers is pretty cool because this does have an auto off feature. I was scrolling through the menus and it said that you can do it manually or it can do auto off. So sometimes, you know, you forget most of the time to turn off your blinker. I do it a lot. It should automatically turn off. All right, and as you can see right here, so if I go into the menu and hit this menu button right here, you hit my ride, and then that will take you to your info mode. So that'll change the way that your dash looks. So right now I'm in road mode, so you can go into Road Pro and it looks like this. Let me go back out, and you gotta go all the way back out. So with Road Pro, it moves the tack to the center, and then you can see your traction control, wheelie control, engine braking, and ABS. And then it has like a little power and torque little meter there. I didn't see a lean angle meter at all on here. And if we go back in and change it again, all right, so we can go to track, and then that'll take you to your track display, and that's what that looks like. And you got your little lap counter and stuff like that. And I thought that you had to pay extra for the lap counter and stuff as well, which is crazy. So I'm gonna have to try it one day and see if that's the case. But as you can see, you get your traction control, wheelie control, engine braking, and ABS right here on the side, and you can change those on the fly. So if you hit the little over button here, and then you can scroll up and down, and then you can change those as you need to. And I like the way that this dash is laid out. You do get a fuel gauge on here, which is awesome, and you can see the air temperature and then your actual engine temp, but you can also change this to where you have your range, so you know, miles till empty. And all that good stuff. I like the way that it's laid out here. You got your miles per hour, it's nice and big. Your gear indicator right there is nice and big right in the middle of the tack, and your time and everything. So that's pretty awesome. Now if we go back in here real quick into the settings, so you just hit that menu again, go back up into settings, and then you can change all your stuff. So you go into the vehicle, you can do your tire calibration, you can change, you know, your light, because this turns from you know, day to night. It'll go white to black on the screen. Your turn indicators auto off, like I was saying, lap, service info, all that stuff. So that's pretty cool. We can go back out here. Advanced, this is when you can go in and you can actually set up all of your traction control, wheelie control, all that stuff per your map that you're riding in, whether it's road, track, or race, or what have you. And we'll go back out. I'm just going to leave mine pretty much how it is. I'm not really going to mess with it unless, you know, after I've ridden this for a bit and I feel that there's certain things I need to change. You can go ahead and change your display, all your Bluetooth devices, so you can hook up like a Bluetooth connection for your map and like all that good stuff. So right here it's kind of ghosted out, but smart features and stuff like that. So that is pretty much the dash. Now, one more thing, you have a mode button up here, so you can go from road, and then you can change it from that to sport, and then you can change it from sport to race. And as you can see, once you go to race, you can see how, and see how the power says high on sport and race, and then on road it's going to be medium, and then on wet it's going to be low power. But you can see how the ABS and the traction control changes with each setup, but you can manually go in and change that to your liking as well. The clutch, so the clutch is it's actually pretty soft. It's not real stiff or anything like that. Engagement and everything when you take off is pretty smooth, and at low speeds it's actually not, it's not too jerky or anything like that. I know, like with my 1199, my RC8 and bikes like that, man, at low speeds they did not like it at all. It would be real jerky, especially turning a corner. Like in second gear, you had to go all the way down to first with slow turns. All right, as far as the brakes go, I haven't really been able to test them yet. I want to see how good they really are, but I mean, so far they feel pretty nice, because I had to make a quick stop at a stoplight earlier, but we'll really be able to test those when we get out on the track. Now, the big question is the heat, right? So the way they did these vents is this fairing, upper fairing right here, has like a, there's like a runner. I was trying to look at the word, I was trying to think of the word for it. There's a runner that goes through here, and or a duct, and it comes out like right here, right by your knee right here, and it blows air up at you, so like it's not so hot for you while you're riding, because obviously most Ducatis run kind of hot. And just sitting in traffic, it wasn't that bad, but it's also not that hot outside yet. But I feel pretty good as far as heat and stuff like that goes. I haven't had one complaint since I've been riding today. I don't know, man. I think this is a pretty solid bike. People can still hate on it and talk crap all they want to. Until you actually ride one and see one in person, you know, don't knock it till you... All right, real quick, I'll do just a quick pull for you guys. I don't want to get too crazy, but just so you can kind of see from third here. She got some get up, man. It pulls. Like I said, it's torquey. Not bad. All right, I'm gonna do it from second. I would take it all the way around. Like I said, I'm breaking it in, so I'm just trying to give y'all something with the exhaust sound and everything else. All right, second gear. Here we go. All right, I'm in sport mode and everything. All right, so here we go. Whoa. Oh, yeah, if you get this bike, you will not be disappointed. I'm gonna tell you that right now. If you have any doubt from whatever you've been hearing because it doesn't have enough horsepower or whatever the case may be, you know what I'm saying, this thing is it. It's it. I mean, I don't know, I'm the type, I don't need a lot of horsepower. Some people, that's just their thing, or I don't know if their ego, like you just gotta have a leader bike and be cool, if you will. I don't know. This is good enough for me, man. It's good in my book. But hey, if you guys got any comments or questions on this bad boy, definitely leave me a comment down in the comment section below, man. Let me know what you guys think about the new Panigale V2. And how do you think this thing is going to stack up against something like the R9 once it actually comes out? Alright guys, stay tuned for some more content coming for this bike. I got to do a couple more things to it. And then I just know there's a lot of people that, you know, have some interest in this bike and they're just curious on how it actually performs, because like I said, you don't really see a whole lot of videos yet with people riding them out on the street and stuff, so definitely stay tuned for that. But other than that, guys, we'll see you in the next one. Peace.